Everyone talks about financial freedom like it's some massive mystery. Retirement accounts, income streams, real estate, passive income. But the truth, there's only three numbers that actually matter. Once I learned them, everything changed. And today, I'm going to walk you through each one so you can finally see how close you actually are to financial freedom. This is the best advice you'll hear about financial freedom. Let's start with the first and maybe the most misunderstood number, your monthly freedom number. This is the amount of money it takes to fund your version of financial freedom for your daily life. Not just the basics, not just scraping by, but actually living in alignment with what matters most to you. Now, here's where most people get it wrong. This number isn't about what life costs right now. It's about what it will cost to live the life you're building towards your vision of financial freedom. In a recent video, I shared a glimpse into my ideal day. My ideal day starts slow, quiet journaling time without any rushed morning activity. I step outside onto the wraparound porch of my 100-year-old house, walk to the coffee shop in the historic town square, catch up with my best friend, and later that evening, I'm on a live coaching call with my students inside my group program. Now, this might sound simple, even dreamy for some people, but this little snippet of my ideal day, it actually leaves clues about my monthly freedom number. Let me show you what I mean. First, I had to reach a point where I didn't have to manage client work or daily projects for my marketing business. That meant I needed a new income stream, something more sustainable and scalable. That beautiful wraparound porch and a 100-year-old home, it comes with a very specific price tag. Living near a charming historic town square where I can meet a friend for lunch, that means relocating to a place that makes that lifestyle possible. A relaxed, unrushed schedule means I'm not doing all the editing, tech, and heavy lifting in my content or my business. So I need a team to support me. Coaching calls in the evenings without stress, that implies someone is helping manage the household, meals, chores, even caring for my animals. This is my idea of financial freedom, but it's probably not your vision or what you want for your life. Maybe a quiet life, working part-time, spending free time with family, and traveling once a year is more aligned with what you want. For others, it might mean a lake house, 2 cars, and a first-class ticket to Bali every spring. There's no right answer. But here's the catch. Most people never define this number. They keep chasing more money without realizing that they've never actually figured out how much is enough. And when you don't know what enough looks like, the goalpost keeps moving. You make more, but you spend more. You earn more, but you still feel like you're behind. That was me for a long time. I had this vague idea of what financial freedom looked like, but no clue how much it would actually cost to live it. So I kept overworking, overthinking, and overcommitting because I had no finish line in sight. The moment I sat down and defined my vision of financial freedom, what my day-to-day life would look like, and then did the math, everything shifted. It wasn't about becoming a millionaire overnight. It was about defining my number and reverse engineering a life I actually wanted. You see, when you plan your ideal lifestyle, the life that represents freedom to you, it's not just daydreaming. Those plans come with a price tag. And while you don't need to know the exact number down to the penny, you do need a realistic idea of what that lifestyle will cost each month. That's your monthly freedom number. And until you have that clarity, you're making decisions in the dark, hoping things will work out instead of actually building the life you want. Now that you started thinking about your monthly freedom number, the life you're building towards, let's talk about where you are right now. That's where your current cash flow comes in. Cash flow is simple. It's what you have left over after you subtract your total monthly expenses from your total monthly income. But don't let the simplicity fool you, because while the math might be basic, the impact, it's massive. If your cash flow is negative or break even, then even with the best of intentions, it's going to feel like you're stuck spinning your wheels. You can't invest, you can't build savings, you can't make progress towards your freedom number because nothing's left at the end of the month. And this is where a lot of people get frustrated, especially when they finally start earning more. They think, I make good money right now, so why doesn't it feel like I'm any closer to financial freedom? And this is why. Because every time your income goes up, your expenses often creep up with it. It's sneaky. You start upgrading little things, groceries, gaming systems, streaming services, dinner out, a new phone plan, a better car. And all of it feels reasonable. All of it feels earned, but what it's actually doing is eating your cash flow alive. I had to learn this the hard way. There was a point where I was bringing in more money than ever before, but I still felt like I couldn't breathe financially. I wasn't mismanaging it on purpose. I just hadn't adjusted my spending to reflect my goals. I had only adjusted it to reflect my income. So let me give you one tiny micro strategy that changed everything for me. I started depositing money into a high yield money market account. The one I chose was super flexible. No penalties for withdrawals. It came with a debit card, and it had no minimum balance requirements. It was perfect for where I was at, skittish, shaky, and feeling a whole lot of the beginner saver energy. If I needed the money, I could access it. So it helped me feel safer about saving it in the first place. Right around the time I was shutting down my business, my marketing agency, I got a bonus project from a client, just out of the blue. It wasn't a huge project, maybe $500 or $600, but I dropped the whole amount into that account. Then I started contributing just $100 a month. And by the end of the year, I had almost $2,000 saved. That might not sound like a big deal to some people, but when you've never saved that much before, it's life-changing. It built my confidence, but even more importantly, it forced me to look at my spending, because at first, I didn't think I could spare $100, especially after closing the agency. I thought, where is that going to come from? But once I made the commitment, I found the space. It was there. I just hadn't been looking for it. You see, cash flow is the bridge between the life you have and the life you want. And when it's strong, you can start moving forward. Because if your freedom number is the destination, then cash flow is the gas in the tank. You can't move forward without it. So now you know where you want to go. That's your monthly freedom number. And you know where you are right now. That's your current cash flow. The last number, it's your wealth gap number. This is the space between the two realities. It's how far you are from where you are right now to where you're going. And I'll be honest, this number used to intimidate me, because when you're just starting out, that gap can feel massive, especially when you're over 100K in debt. You're saving later in life. You have what feels like a insurmountable amount of obstacles to overcome, and absolutely zero systems to back you up when things get rough. But here's what shifted everything for me. I stopped looking at my current circumstances as a failure. I started looking at where I wanted to go as a blueprint, because that's really what it is. It's a guide that shows you what still needs to be built. It's not meant to shame you. It's meant to help you focus. Your wealth gap isn't just about retirement or a savings goal. It's a cumulative cost of the lifestyle you're building over time. And depending where you are in life, that number might include paying off debt, building emergency savings, increasing your income, investing consistently, or just learning to manage your money with confidence. There's no one-size-fits-all path. But if you never calculate your wealth gap, you risk spending your whole life hustling toward a vague finish line that keeps moving. And that was my reality for years. I was doing everything, saving a little, investing a little, working a lot, but without a clear picture of what was enough, what it looked like for me. It was just noise, busy, exhausting, unfulfilling. Once I defined the gap, once I actually named what I was building towards, I could finally reverse engineer the steps to get there. And spoiler alert, it wasn't as far away as I thought. Because when you get honest about the gap, you stop wasting energy on things that don't move you forward. The wealth gap is your real financial target. It's not a fantasy. It's not someday. It's a measurable, reachable goal, and it's one that you can see. So now you've got your three numbers: your monthly freedom number, your current cash flow, and your wealth gap. These are the numbers that bring financial freedom into focus. But here's the thing. Knowing the numbers is just one part of the puzzle. If you don't have the mindset to support them, if you don't have the vision for the life you're building, then even the best plan can fall apart. That's what this next video is all about.